seen a church that looks nothing like the churches you know? Hidden in the misty hills of Dalat, there's a place where East meets West, where ancient Asian curves blend seamlessly with Catholic tradition. It's called Dusin, the Pilgrim Church. But here's the question: why does this church, unlike any other in Vietnam, carry the soul of both Buddhism and Christianity at the same time? Stay with me, because once you see its architecture up close, you'll realize this isn't just a building. It's a story carved in stone, waiting to be uncovered. To understand this church, we have to go back to its very beginning. The name Dusin might sound unusual, but it carries a deep meaning. In fact, it was originally a way of saying juice or Joseph in the local phonetic style of Father Buu Duong, the priest who founded this parish. Over time, however, people began to see a broader symbolism in the words Dusin. Some explained it as a reflection of the early settlers here, families who moved constantly from the north to the south, much like nomads searching for a new life. But on a deeper spiritual level, Dusin also speaks to every Christian's journey, a reminder that life itself is a pilgrimage and that we are all travelers in this world, moving toward a greater destination. So when you step into this church, you're not just looking at architecture, you're walking into a living story of faith, migration, and the blending of cultures that shape Dalat. When you look at this church for the very first time, what do you see? Is it a Catholic church, or is it a temple hidden in the mist of Dalat? Because here, unlike anywhere else, you'll notice the curved roof lines, elegant arcs that resemble the ancient pagodas of Asia. You'll see dragon motifs, guardians of tradition, carved into the very bones of this building. And yet, standing tall above it all, is a bell tower, a symbol deeply rooted in Western Gothic design. How could such opposite elements live together in harmony? The story begins in 1955 when this place was first built, not as the grand church you see today, but as a small chapel, a modest home for faith, serving the migrant Catholic community that had come here from the north, searching for stability in a new land.
By Christmas Eve 1957, the church was officially inaugurated. Can you imagine the scene? Families gathered in the cool Đà Lạt night, holding candles, their voices rising in hymns beneath the curved Asian roof that sheltered them. And just 5 years later, in 1962, the bell tower was completed. Its ringing echoed through the valleys, announcing that this once humble chapel had grown into something greater, a cultural landmark, a beacon of both faith and identity. But what moves me the most is not just the architecture, it's the resilience behind it. Think of the generations who prayed here, even through war, uncertainty and change. This church has stood as a witness to their struggles and their hopes. So when you stand here today, ask yourself, is this just a building of bricks and tiles, or is it a living symbol where East and West, tradition and faith, past and present, all find a way to coexist? You know, every beautiful place also carries its scars. Dusin Church is no exception. Back in 1968, during the Tet Offensive, this parish went through one of its darkest chapters. The rectory, the priest's house, was burned to the ground. The church itself, and even the little school beside it, were left in ruins. Can you imagine the pain of coming back and finding everything you had built gone in smoke? Some families never returned. They couldn't. But 4 months later, a few brave souls came back, and with almost nothing in their hands, they began again, rebuilding walls, replanting gardens, and trying to heal their hearts. Then came 1975, another turning point. After the war, many parishioners moved away, seeking new lives elsewhere. The once vibrant community here grew smaller and quieter. If you had stood here in those years, you might have wondered, would this church survive at all? And yet, it did. That's the part that moves me the most. Despite war, despite loss, despite uncertainty, the people who remained refused to let their faith die. Guided by their priests, they rebuilt the rectory, they restored the church, and little by little, they breathed life back into this place. When I stand here today, I don't just see architecture, I see resilience. I see the courage of ordinary families who refuse to give up, and I can't help but ask myself, if I had lived through those days, would I have had the same strength to stay, to rebuild, to believe? You know what's funny? Usually, when someone mentions a Catholic church, we picture something very Western,
Tall spires, Gothic arches, stained glass windows. But here, in Dalat, there's one exception. Only Dusin Church carries this unique, unmistakable Asian soul. There's really nothing else like it. When you walk through its gates, you're not just entering a church. You are stepping into a blend of cultures, where faith is wrapped in the beauty of Eastern design. Look up at the rooftops. The curves bend gracefully, almost like the eaves of an ancient temple. Every detail is carved with such precision. Dragons, flowers, patterns that feel alive. And then your eyes catch the massive columns holding it all together. At first, they seem heavy, almost monumental. But when you look closer, you realize they were inspired by bamboo. Straight, elegant, reaching upward as if stretching to touch the sky. Standing there, you can't help but feel small, but in a good way. Like you're part of something greater, something that connects heaven and earth. It's strange. A Catholic church that feels both familiar and foreign at the same time. And maybe that's the magic of Dusin. It doesn't just show you architecture, it makes you feel wonder. It makes you pause and listen to the silence, as if the building itself is whispering the stories of everyone who has walked through its doors. So the next time you find yourself in Dalat, don't just chase the popular tourist spots. Come here, stand under these curved roofs, touch the cool stone of the pillars, and ask yourself, what story do I want my journey to tell? If this video inspired you, let me know in the comments. Would you like to visit Dusin Church one day? And don't forget to subscribe, because in the next episodes, we'll keep uncovering the hidden stories of Dalat, the ones you won't find in any travel guide.